This week I'm back aboard Finnair, the airline where my YouTube journey all began. I'm with the husband, showing him the AirLounge, doing a One World lounge tour, and asking myself the question, is Finnair still at the top of its game? Good morning from Heathrow's Terminal 3 and welcome to this week's video. Now we're going back in time a little bit and we're getting a little bit nostalgic. All those many months ago, over a year and a bit, we're probably talking about 15 months ago, I started this channel with a little video on Finnair in their business class, their AirLounge product on the A330 back from Helsinki to Heathrow. And you guys oddly loved it. I never knew how this channel would go. I didn't know if it would be a success, and here we are. Over a year later, still producing weekly trip reports, and a big thank you for tuning in. So if you never saw that original video, I'll pop a link up top, but today we're doing it all over again in reverse. We're going back to Helsinki on the A350 in business class, but the difference this week is I've got a bit of a guest with me, and that guest is the husband. Looking forward to it?
Super.
He's always happy when he's flying business class, hence the kiss. So without further ado, let's get inside the terminal and get this journey started up to Helsinki with Finnair. It's nice to actually be flying from Terminal 3 today. I haven't been back here since the Virgin Atlantic upper class flight that I took last year over to New York's JFK, and boy was that a blast. Now, Finnair is set up inside Terminal 3 in Zone C, and it's here that you'll find the priority lane for business class check-in, or those customers with the relevant One World or Finnair frequent flyer status. We dropped our bags at the physical counter, but if you do prefer to use it, Finnair also offer the self-service check-in kiosks, where you do all the work yourself and just drop your bags at the counter. It was then time to head through to departures and through security, and all Finnair's business class tickets include priority security here when departing from Heathrow. Once through, you'll be spoiled for choices when it comes to airport lounges. I'll be showing you them all, but today we're kicking things off in the Qantas lounge. You'll get a great Aussie welcome in here, and it's full of ruse spirit. Sadly though, the downstairs dining area was closed, which meant no salt and pepper squid for me today. That was a little bit of a kicker, but we decided to head upstairs and you're immediately greeted by the stunning centrepiece bar. That takes some of the pain away. The husband was certainly in his element, and there's great apron views outside too for the likes of the av geeks like me, as well as lots of information to keep tabs on your flight status. We plotted up in the comfy leather corner seats and got settled. So welcome to Lounge 1 of 4, which is the Qantas lounge located in the B area. It's called Lounge B. And of course there's pretty much a wall of lounges when you get into Terminal 3, as you've seen, and that spans from B to C all the way down from all the other airlines, from Emirates, Virgin Atlantic's Clubhouse is down here as well. But of course you don't get access to that on a One World ticket. So the Qantas lounge initial impressions are pretty decent, to be fair. It's really relaxing. It's quite quiet today. It's currently just a little bit past midday, probably about 1:45 in the afternoon, and there's only about 20 to 25 people in here, so lots of space to spread out and relax. So I'll take you on a quick whistle-stop tour of the Qantas lounge and show you everything you get in here, and then of course it'll be time to do the rankings and move on to the very next lounge. At the top of the stairs is this wonderful circular bar. I think it certainly passes the classy test. On offer is lots of drinks and bar staff that will pretty much make you anything. There's Croesus Sparkling Brut on offer from the Adelaide Hills, as well as a variety of whites including Ombrellino Pinot Grigio, Old Gumtree Chardonnay, Mount Benson Wavecrest Sauvignon Blanc, a Cuvée de Richard from France, and a French Libosso Rosé. There were also 4 red wines on offer, including this Millville Road Shiraz, that's the third from the left, and it's really, really nice. I highly recommend it. There's Camden Pale Ale and Camden Hell's Lager on draft, as well as Beck's, alongside a variety of cocktails. I decided to opt for the Strawberry Spritz, a combo of vodka, lemon juice, strawberry puree, mint and sparkling wine. And boy, was it strong. I'm really not exaggerating here, it had a humongous alcoholic hit. The husband was left a little unsure. 3 fruit-flavoured waters were on offer too, including a Brita filtered tap. There's also an automated coffee machine alongside a selection of teas from Dilma. On the food front, there was sweet corn chowder, olive focaccia, crispy ciabatta, tortilla crisps, and dinner rolls. I opted for the tortilla crisps and they were really good. There was a creamy chicken fricassee available, alongside a ratatouille, potato dauphinoise, and fresh coriander and lime rice. Other dining included crudités with olive tapenade and fromage frais, a variety of salads including this potato, egg and cucumber salad with green goddess dressing, a sweet corn coleslaw in a creamy yoghurt dressing, a za'atar kale chopped salad with chickpeas and tahini, and a shredded courgette salad with spinach, tomatoes and Greek feta cheese. Desserts consisted of strawberry shortcakes with fresh cream and chocolate honeycomb brownie pots. Both were excellent. There were also cheese scones and fruit scones with sultanas too. These went down extremely well with the husband. Oh yes, and before you ask, you can get Vegemite inside the Qantas lounge, and yes, I absolutely despise it. The Qantas lounge has lots of different seating areas available too, as well as a dedicated kids section if you're travelling with the little ones. There's toilets and showers available as well, and they were exceptionally clean, with large vanity mirrors, shaving outlets, clean toilets, a rarity in airports these days, and amenities from Grown Alchemist. If you do get a chance to eat downstairs in the Qantas lounge and it's not closed like it was for us, then definitely go for the salt and pepper squid. You won't regret that choice. And that pretty much summed up our time in the lounge. It had come to an end, and it was time to head over to the American Airlines lounge. Upon entering the American Airlines lounge, you'll see showers to your immediate right, a small little private seating area to the left of you before you enter the main lounge area.
Well, welcome to Lounge 2 of 4, the American Airlines Lounge, which is Lounge H. We've not hit food or drink fatigue just yet, and we're going to tuck in and take another tour of this lounge. This is the second of 4 lounges you get access to when you're flying on a Oneworld business class ticket. Now, the American Airlines Lounge here at Heathrow shuts currently, at the time of recording this video, around 4 p.m. So we've got a couple of hours to have a little wander around. We're not going to be in here that long. It does seem a little bit sterile, but let's not take the first impressions. Let's have a proper walk round and see what's on offer if you decide to come to the American Airlines Lounge.
There's great apron views from all areas of the AA lounge, and you can even see these mighty 777-300s from the comfort of your seat. Speaking of seats, there's lots of different areas to choose from, including this quiet area reserved for those who want to sleep or relax. It's also worth noting that there's plenty of plug sockets around this lounge, offering both UK and US sockets. There's orange juice and water dotted throughout the lounge, alongside various drink stations too, including tea, coffee and canned sodas. There's free pour spirits available as well, alongside 2 red wines, an Italian Merlot and a Californian Cabernet Sauvignon. There's also a Luberon Rosé available too, alongside 2 whites, a Deloach Californian Chardonnay and a Prosecco to be avoided at all costs. There are even more fruit juices available as well, including tomato juice if you fancy a Bloody Mary. On the food front, there were cheeses, salamis and meats, this deli-style help-yourself salad counter, these rather sad-looking vegetable and cheese sandwiches, alongside duck and hoisin sauce wraps. There were also 2 types of bread rolls with butter, served alongside this hot Chinese-inspired sweet and sour soup. There was also this sad-looking tomato fusilli pasta dish, butter beans in a creamy coconut masala sauce, pilau rice with green peas, and a chili chicken with garlic and ginger. All in all, I felt a little underwhelmed with AA's lounge offering, and certainly felt they could do better at such a flagship airport. The toilets were also very unclean. I'll spare you the details, but it was nice to know that the mighty Southampton were on tour. After a small bite to eat of rather adequate food, we decided to take our leave and head to the next stop on our lounge tour, the British Airways Galleries Lounge.
So, lounge 3 of 4 in the confines of the British Airways Galleries Lounge here, which is Lounge F, Zone F. What can I say? It's a bit deflating, to be fair. It's absolutely rammed. When I say rammed, we walked in, there was not a single seat. We literally just had to stand in the middle with my Tom Collins and just wait for a seat to become available. And we now sat on this kind of elevated seating area towards the back, but it's really, really busy. Obviously, this is one of the downsides to a onboard lounge is sometimes they can get very busy because they serve a lot of different airlines. But nevertheless, let's take you on a tour. I'm going to show you around the British Airways Galleries Lounge if you decide to stop off here at Terminal 3.
There's lots of wine on offer in the BA Lounge, including these 4 red wines, with one of my personal favourites on the far left, a Chianti Classico. There were 4 white wines as well, all of varying degrees of quality, and this, the Pale Rosé, if that's what takes your fancy. There were also a variety of beers available in cans in the fridges below, with BA's signature partnership with Brewdog, Speedbird, available as well. There's plenty of spirits on offer with some real premium names. I must admit I was quite impressed with the range that BA had put on. There's also white and rosé Bottega Prosecco and a selection of snacks to pair with your drinks. There was also this make-your-own cocktail station alongside a selection of juices. I opted for a 0% alcohol-free Tom Collins, and it was average at best. There's an automated coffee machine, teas from the brand Birchall, and this unique hot dog stand offering both meat and vegetarian alternatives, all with a variety of toppings. I knew this would be up the husband street, so returned triumphantly. On the other food front, there were a selection of sandwiches and wraps, this Turkish-style soup with a variety of toppings, alongside cod bites with lemon and peas, minced beef and onion pies, a buttered chicken, various items of vegetables, rice, and this pasta bolognese, which I know doesn't particularly look great, but it did taste okay. There's a help yourself salad station with lots of varieties of dressings, and a dessert offering which consisted of panna raisins, carrot cake, and fruit cake. I opted for the minced beef and onion pie with dripping gravy, and it was really, really good. The husband was satisfied with his hot dog. There's copies of the onboard High Life magazine dotted around the lounge if you want a little bit of reading material, and to keep tabs on your flight, there's plenty of departure screens everywhere in the Galleries Lounge. The toilets, although clean, do feel a little sterile and almost hospital-like in nature. They come with shaving sockets and Elemis toiletries though, which do get a thumbs up from me.
And then it all went a little bit petong. So Cathay Pacific are restricting passengers for the CX flights only, the Cathay Pacific flights only. That's pretty standard. It does get very, very busy in there. However, what I didn't account on was the fact that this entire week there are lots of students going back to Hong Kong. This is being shot the last week of March, first week of April, so lots of people going back to Hong Kong to visit their families. So as of course, the lounge is extremely busy. So the staff were really pleasant. The lounge manager came down. She had a chat with me, Selena with a C, and she said, look, I'd love to let you in there, but I just don't want you to film it at the moment because she said it's like a kid's crash. She said, and that's no comment about the clientele that's in there with them being students. She just said it's just so unbelievably busy, and there's people standing, and she said, look, you're going to really struggle to film it. So I don't know how we're going to get around this. Maybe I'll show you some photographs of the Cathay Pacific Lounge. I can also show you the Cathay Pacific Lounge we went to in Hong Kong. But yeah, Bit disappointing, because that was the one we were most looking forward to, and they always do seem to come out on top, but sadly not had that chance to experience the Cathay Pacific Lounge today. So yeah, bit of a downer.
So, to drown my sorrows, I had a glass of Australian Sauvignon Blanc, and the husband opted for a dark and stormy rum cocktail. And now to the scores. I think out of the 3 lounges we experienced today, there's a clear winner, and that's Qantas. The food, ambience and comfort, not to mention the toilets, really did put it ahead. American Airlines, though, was the lowest scoring lounge in our opinion. It really does need a bit of TLC. The entire environment feels a little bit sterile, and I don't think anybody can forgive how dirty those toilets really were. And British Airways Galleries Lounge sat somewhere in the middle and would probably have scored even higher if it wasn't at full capacity. Plenty more space in there to add a few more seats, which should alleviate that problem. And then it was time to head to our gate. I caught the Finnair tail peeking over the top of this Virgin Atlantic A330, and flying us up to Helsinki today is this Airbus A350-900, which was delivered to Finnair back in September 2016, making it nearly 10 years old. I still think it looks absolutely brand new. As we watched our bags get loaded, we walked down to gate 25, where there was a dedicated business class boarding lane here, and everything seemed really smooth today. We arrived, Group 1 boarding was announced, and we sailed down the air bridge. Props to Finnair for this efficient boarding process. Now, at the risk of sounding ever so slightly nostalgic, it's no secret that the AirLounge will always represent something special to me, as it was the first flight I ever covered on the channel. And I'll always remember how the Finnair cabin crew on that flight really got behind the video to make it a success. So yeah, it's great to be back, and this time with the husband.
Well, welcome aboard this Finnair A350-900 series aircraft up to Helsinki in the AirLounge business class seat, and boy oh boy have I missed this seat. It really is a spectacular product, and even now it's a few years old now, and it still looks brand new, and it still feels ever so exciting when you sit in it for the first time. The husband gives it the full thumbs up. It's got his approval already, so we're looking forward to getting settled in. So I'll take you on a full seat tour. It feels like a full circle moment for me, this, really, considering that my very first video on the channel was that Finnair video on the A330 from Helsinki to Heathrow, that breakfast, that morning flight. Today we're taking the evening flight, the 18:10 departure, the AY1338 up to Helsinki, and going to enjoy a nice evening meal, a couple of drinks, and just spend some quality time on this really long journey. Well, not around the world, but may as well be around the world considering how many flights we've got crammed in over the next fortnight. So stick with us, I'll take you on a full seat tour, and we'll tell you everything that happens on this Finnair flight up to Helsinki.
Now, the seat is a lot larger than I remember it, and of course, as you know by now, it doesn't recline. In fact, the only moving part is the gap where your feet go, which lifts up to turn the AirLounge into a bed. There were 2 pillows waiting for me on my seat as I boarded the aircraft, alongside a bottle of still water and some earphones. Headphones are only offered on long-haul flights. The legroom is fantastic, as you can see here, and to the left of your feet is this handy storage compartment, alongside another that houses the IFE remote and USB A and C charging ports to the left of your shoulder. There's also in-seat AC power too, as well as wireless charging, which is built into the table. It just takes a couple of seconds to kick in. There's a whole host of buttons to operate various things in the AirLounge, including the table, which pops out like this. It really is a great size, and you can push it back and get out of your seat without having to fold the table away. There's also overhead reading lights, as well as individual adjustable ones in every seat over your shoulder. The seatbelt is harness in style and clips into the holder below, and with that it was time for us to buckle in and get ready as we pushed back for departure. Catch you in the air.
So all up in the climb and a bang on time departure for Finnair this evening, pretty much roared up into the sky at 18:10. So yeah, just ears popping as we speak. Oh, that was quite unpleasant. Don't normally get that. I used to think I was immune. When I was crew for British Airways, I burst my eardrum, my right eardrum, and that kind of stopped my ears popping for many years. It's the first time they've popped quite badly in some time. Anyway, you didn't need to know that. So we're in the climb. I'm assuming the service will start shortly, and then as always I will show you everything you get on this Finnair A350-900 up to Helsinki, and I'm really looking forward to this one. Least not because I'm not doing it by myself, and I love solo travel, I really do, but it's nice when the husband comes along. It really is. He looks quite settled. You get a thumbs up, that's normally a good sign. So we had a lovely, hot, refreshing towel, which was really nice, and I've just popped the AirLounge seat into kind of the fully, well, I say fully lie-flat mode. It is the fully lie-flat mode, really. Obviously, that button pushes the bottom half of the seat up. That's the motorised part, and then the other half, the very slim half, just clicks up into place. And yeah, it's beautiful. The husband's wasted no time in getting a bit of sleep in before the meal service, because we've been told that's going to be about 20-25 minutes. So he's having a little cat nap and looks superbly comfortable. You know, he's 6'3", and there's still space in that little footwell at the end for his feet. So, you know, props to the AirLounge design. It ticks for tall people and for short people alike. So I can see a small little bit of service starting. Not too sure what it is. I'm not too sure if it's a drink service or a snack service or something, but as always I'll report on it. I've just heard the crack of a beer can, so evidently that's the start of the drink service. Let's get reporting on everything that happens on this Finnair flight up to Helsinki. So drink service all started. I was keeping it classy with the traditional blueberry juice, and the husband's gone double blueberry juice and a vodka as well. And you know what? I don't blame him. Even the crew was finding it slightly amusing. What's the best mixer to your blueberry juice? A vodka. So yeah, and we got served a pack of salted pretzels. Look, the husband's raised a good point. They're certainly better than those sour cream pretzels, but even so, I'd like to see something a bit more imaginative than a pack of pretzels. I know there's some great snacks out there, so come on, Finnair. I'm sure you can up your game. I'm sure there's some good Finnish snacks, to be fair. Or what about one of those nice Finnish pastries? I'm sure there are plenty of things that can be done at a similar or lower cost price. But yeah, it's great to taste that blueberry juice once more. I wish we could buy it in the UK, honestly. I really do. I love it to pieces. It's a great, great product, but sadly not. So, food service about to start after this. We're going to get settled in, enjoy. We did pre-order our meals, so I'll show you what we pre-ordered shortly. And yeah, we're going to sit back, relax, and get tucked into a really nice hot meal. Now, Finnair's IFE is very touch responsive, as you can see here, and there's a raft of latest releases as well as classic movies on offer in the films section. I've always been really impressed with how the screen responds to touch in the AirLounge. It's certainly one of the best IFEs around. Finnair are also in a small group of airlines that actually load a full TV series, rather than just 1 or 2 episodes like other airlines do, and that really does get on my nerves, so props to Finnair for this. There's also plenty of games on offer to keep yourself, your partner or the little ones amused, alongside a variety of information about your arrival at Helsinki, a list of connecting flights, which is really handy if you're travelling onwards, not to mention information about Finnair's products and services, including its very own loyalty programme, Finnair Plus. I then decided to check out the toilets on this A350, which come with quite a nifty feature. You guessed it, it's a window, and what lovely views there were too. The toilets were exceptionally clean, with C's amenities, both soap and hand lotion, in an orange scent. It was really nice, alongside air freshener too. Now, as I go back to my seat, let me tell you about pre-ordering your meal in Finnair's business class.
Before your flight, you'll get a choice and you can select your option from a menu within the app or online. It's complimentary but not mandatory, and if you do choose not to pre-order, you'll just get served whatever is the dish of the day on board. Well, that's the meal service done and dusted, and it's pretty decent on the whole, very positive meal service experience from Finnair on this flight. So we pre-ordered in advance. Husband went for the grilled chicken in a tomato and yogurt sauce with lentils and rice. Said it was really tasty, the chicken was really good quality, really moist, cooked well, and it was really nice. Just a lack of sauce. There could be, one or two more ladles of sauce on there. It was a tiny bit dry towards the end. Starter though on both meals was the same. It was a smoked Finnish fish. I didn't catch the name of it. I want to say it begins something with S. So any Finnish subscribers, do feel free to get in touch and let me know what that fish is. It was smoked, very similar to mackerel, very soft. The bones just kind of melted, and that was with a kind of lemon, mayonnaise, tomatoes, and a little light salad. Really tasty starter, and again, probably quite a high cost point for Finnair serving something like that. So impressed that it's not the usual seeds, pasta, couscous kind of ilk. And I went for this was so unusual, I had to pre-order it. It was the game meat patty with licorice sauce, turnip puree, mashed potato and Brussels sprouts, and I kid you not, it was sensationally good. It was like it was venison in taste, really quite rich, but like a hamburger. It just cut like butter, and the sauce not really licoricey at all. And I do like my licorice, I know it's an acquired taste, but it was more kind of almost a bit soury, it had kind of like a lemony note to it, and then just a touch of sweetness, but you couldn't really taste licorice, but it was really good. Standout dish. Another blueberry juice for me, and a still water for the husband, and an absence of any dessert on the plate. So let's see what happens. My coffee cup has yet to be filled, so we'll see if they're going to start a tea or coffee service shortly, and then let's see if a dessert turns up. So dessert, as I kind of thought, came round with the tea coffee service. Husband went for a mint tea, which wasn't on offer, but he asked if they did mint tea, and they went and did it straight away for him, and that looked really nice. And I went for a coffee and got a very strong Finnish coffee. But yeah, it was nice. A couple of sugars, and I'm going to try and get my head down now for 20 minutes. But the dessert was a salted caramel and cardamom bun, a bit like a sort of pastry, Danish pastry, or Nordic pastry, or Finnish pastry, should I say, to keep on the good side of the crew who are earwigging in the galley. But yeah, it was really tasty, it was really nice. We got offered a second and we both declined, because as gorgeous as it was very sweet. So yeah, I am satisfied. It was a nice meal service for the flight time. Just 2 hours 20 up to Helsinki this evening. Normally it's around 3 hours, so we're doing very well. And actually, at this moment in time, due to touchdown into Helsinki, about 25 minutes ahead of our scheduled landing time, which is really nice. So, considering we're flying again tomorrow, that's really good. All the time we can take, we'll take. So, I'm going to get my head down, get 20 minutes rest, and then as I wake, we probably will just be about starting our descent into Finland. A marvellous little 35-minute snooze. We are well into our descent now, hence the bumps, and we are on our way down into Helsinki. There's one thing you forget with the AirLounge, is not only how spacious it is, but how comfortable it is. This wonderful leather kind of padded textured materials to the left of me, this kind of leather material, and then this really nice woven fabric to the right, just creates a really calming and kind of soft space. When your head catches it, even if you sort of slide off your pillow, it's really cushioned and really comfortable. I love it. I always will love it. And the AirLounge is definitely a love it or hate it product, but for me, it is up there with one of my favourite business class products of all time. So that's
that's pretty much it. Just been given a nice little chocolate prior to landing, and we're pretty much there now, which is really, really nice. And yeah, it's been a really, really nice flight, and I do feel always like I'm kind of back home, with Finnair. It's for two reasons, I think. One, it was that very first project I ever did, and the crew made that video an absolute success. It was a fantastic day, and it really kick-started my YouTube channel to what we know now, what we do now on a weekly basis. So, it will always hold a special place in my heart, this airline, but ultimately, in a non-biased sense at all, because I'm not biased and I'll always tell you as it is, it really still is a fantastic game-changing product. It's years old, it's still ahead of its time, it's still ahead of the game, and it's really, really comfortable. So I've seen some fantastic upgrade deals. We paid Avios and taxes and fees on this flight leg through British Airways Club as always, but you can book it on Qatar, Iberia, Aer Lingus, all the other all the other IAG airlines, the onboard partners, you can book it with. And I've seen some fantastic upgrade prices as well, sometimes as low as €790 on their long-haul routes. If you can snag, to Hong Kong or to Japan or to China, an upgrade in the €800, just under €800 mark, I would say snap their hand off, because there's some ultra-long sectors that they do out of Helsinki, and you might be lucky enough to go across the North Pole still with that Russian and Ukrainian airspace closed. So yeah, it's been a really, really fab time. It's been a wonderful flight. We're so pleased to, be back on board, and it's nice to do the AirLounge with the husband, so he's had a chance to experience it. So next week, I'll keep you guessing, but I suppose no spoilers, but if we're flying out of Helsinki, I suppose you might come to a conclusion as to who we're flying with again, but I'll let you think on that one. And as always, next Monday, I will see you in the next one. A big thanks for watching.
Lämpimästi tervetuloa Helsinkiin. Istuthan vielä paikallasi turvavyö kiinnitettynä, kunnes kapteeni sammuttaa turvavyömerkkivaloon.
I suppose with any absence of any window shot, we have to make do with the tail cameras. But the good thing about the 350 is not only does it have a tail camera, it also has a downward camera as well. So husband and I doing our very best there to create some kind of multi-camera shot. But yeah, a little break from my usual voiceover tradition. I just want to say, if you've not tried the AirLounge yet, give it a whirl. It's really worth it. Just do one way if you really don't want to burn through the Avios on a return sector. Just do one way and enjoy it. It really is a marvellous way to fly. So we're just arriving into Helsinki now. We're pulling on to stand about 20 minutes ahead of schedule, which is really, really nice. On time these days is rare. Ahead of schedule, even rarer. So props to Finnair for their timekeeping on this little leg from Heathrow. As always, I'll see you next week. I'll see you in the next one. Be safe, and thanks for watching.
Now feels like the perfect moment to ask, if you're enjoying the adventures so far, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and come along for the ride with a growing community of fellow travellers.